Hey, it's your guy, David Taff, co-founder of Better Setters. And today I want to talk to you about some common leadership issues that might be affecting your company without you even knowing about it. So leadership is an essential component to any successful organization. But many leaders struggle with a variety of challenges, right? We're talking about roadblocks that hinder their effectiveness. From poor communication to a lack of delegation, these issues can one, erode trust, two, damage the morale of you and your team, three, undermine the success of the entire organization. And let's actually take a look and explore some of the most common issues with leadership and offer some solutions to these challenges, right? As a leader, you have to be adaptable and you have to understand that your team members, the people that are sharing your vision and willing to work towards that vision with you, they necessarily don't like change, right? As human beings, we don't like to have a lot of change and volatility in our lives, which is why most people feel comfortable, taking a position, taking a job rather than starting their own business, right? You as the entrepreneur, you as a visionary, you took that risk. Your team members don't necessarily want to, which is why they're willing to help you build your dream and share your vision. So that being said, you need to be super adaptable, but understand every change, every iteration of your organization or of your product doesn't necessarily need to be shared with the team, especially if they're ideas that are coming to you on a daily basis. One of the things that I've done and I've learned as I grew through business is actually schedule out time each and every week. I actually do it two times a week, and I call it my thinking time, right? I jot down my ideas throughout the day, throughout the week as they come. And then on my thinking time is a 90-minute time block. I actually look at all of these ideas and I think to myself, hey, which one of these ideas are actually great? Which ones are just mediocre? And which ones can damage our company, right? Because when you have an idea, it always seems like a great idea at first, right? But then you give yourself time to sit back and think about it. All of a sudden, you unravel some of the causes, some of the issues with that potential idea, right? So I circle the ones I think are winners, and then I give it even more time and actually bring in our COO of the company, and I bring these ideas. We collaborate together with our COO and say, hey, I think this can be game busters or this can be phenomenal for our company. And then from there, together, we make a decision on that idea, and then we roll it out to the team. If I was just, and I was doing this at first when I was a younger entrepreneur, is I'll have an idea, I'll share it with the team, my small team that I had. Then the next day I have an idea, share it with the team. The next day I'll make corrections and I'm excited. I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be awesome. But the team is like panicking, like, oh my God, like, why does he change his mind so many times? Right? And that's something that I had to learn, and that's something that, as entrepreneurs, as we grow as a leader, we learn that not everyone is built like us. We're not built like everyone else. There's, people have their superpowers, and one of your superpowers might be having these great ideas all day long, but doesn't necessarily mean your team's going to be excited about them as you are. So being a good leader, you have to understand when to step back, how to control your urges and control yourself, and then bring a polished, doesn't need to be finished, but a polished thought, idea, product to the rest of your team so that way they can do their superpowers within that goal. Let's explore how a lack of communication can set your business back big time. So, an essential component of effective leadership is to communicate effectively to your entire team. You need to convey expectations that are realistic, goals, and also provide feedback to your team members. We call that KPIs or OKRs or whatever you want to, whichever acronym you like, but that's super important to your business. Because when you don't have good communication, it leads to confusion, it leads to frustration, and the goal doesn't get done. And more importantly, as a leader, you have to accept responsibility for every single thing that happens in your business. That's just the way that it goes as being a leader. So if you hired someone or you employed someone and they're not getting their job done, you have to look at it as it's your fault. You need to take a step back and say, one, is this the right person? Or two, is this the right person, but we're not giving them the tools to succeed the right way? And that's a huge mentality shift, right? So I would say take a step back. Okay, now that we identify the problem of poor communication, let's look at some of the solutions. So, effective communication is by far one of the key traits of a good leader. You have to be clear and concise. You have to encourage open and honest communication with your team. Start with yourself. It's okay. We all make mistakes on a daily basis. It's okay to point out your own mistakes. That will allow your team members to feel confidence that, hey, it's okay for us to make a mistake. Pro tip, never correct someone in front of a group. Always gain their confidence by pulling them aside one on one. If you correct them in front of a group of people or their other peers, what you risk doing is embarrassing them, and now they're always going to have a little bit of resentment towards you, as their leader. That might be common sense, but I want to make sure we touch on that before we move on to some of the other solutions. Okay, issue number 4, lack of trust when delegated. So, people love structure, but no one loves being told what to do each and every day, all day long, right? One surefire way to lose the trust of an A player is trying to micromanage them. As the leader, your job is to provide a clear goal, right? And then step back and let that person, let that team member figure out how to get to that goal. You can provide guidelines, you can provide structure, and you provide a budget, but you want to allow them the trust and the faith to let them build it their way, right? If you The saying goes, if you want someone to cook the food, allow them to choose the ingredients. And that's, as a business owner, that can be scary, right? Because you're used to doing everything on your own because that's how you had to start out. So take a step back, take a deep breath, and pick one of the tasks or pick one of the challenges that you need to solve. Delegate it to a trusted team member. Write out like, here's how I want this to be done. Well, write out here's what the goal is. Here's what success looks like, and then allow them to figure out how to do it in the best way. Once you can master that, there's the sky's the limit for your organization. Double your revenue and 5x your profits by empowering your team. I'm going to tell you guys a quick story. 4 years back, I was just kind of still a young entrepreneur, still trying to figure things out in my business. And I had a really talented team member whose name is Yao. And I figured this out by accident. And I want to share this story with you. So, Yao's job or responsibility were to set appointments, sales appointments for myself and my partner at that time. And I was doing the settings myself. I was generating the leads and scheduling the appointments. And off and on, I would do around maybe around 40 to 50 appointments a month, which is pretty good. I also had a lot of other responsibilities and a lot going on. So we brought in this person, we brought in Yao, and we asked her to double my output, right? We wanted 100 appointments instead of 50 because we figured if she could focus on just that one thing, she can get better at it, than I would. And we thought it was going to take around 90 days, a 3 month cycle. So the goal was for month 1 was 50, goal for month 2 was 75, the goal for month 3 was 100 appointments. So as leaders, we did a good job of setting a clear goal, right? We defined what success looked like in that role, and we gave her a path to that goal. Now, we do a pretty good job of documenting. So we had how I was doing it pretty well documented. We gave that to Yell beforehand, allow her to study that, but we also gave her the flexibility to do it in her own way. And what we found was and we would check in. Let me give you this piece of information as well. Is we did a daily check-in reports where every day Yell will send us an EOD report, right? End of day report. And it was very clear. We knew, hey, if your goal was 50 appointments, what does that look like weekly? What does that look like daily? So she had exactly how many appointments, and it was broken into 2 to 3 appointments a day. Let's just call it 2 appointments. So she knew her goal was to set 2 appointments every single day. And it was, hey, 0 out of 2. Like she would put either 1 out of 2, 2 out of 2, 3 out of 2, 0 out of 2, whatever it is. So we got the actual result. And then underneath it, is she stuck with anything, and does she need my help with anything, right? So those were our 3 criteria. The actual result, are you stuck with anything? And also, do you need my help with anything? So we had, the first week we had daily meetings, explaining everything, showing everything, giving her the tools and the resources needed to accomplish the goal. Every day she would send us an EOD report where we can see what was the progress for that day and how's it trending for the week, how's it trending for the month. After the first week, we're able to then shift it into a weekly meeting instead of a daily meeting, and then those EOD reports. Now, what we found was because we allowed her the freedom and flexibility to try things and do it her way, she hit the 3 month goal in the first month. She actually crushed it 112 appointments, 112 sales calls booked in the first month. We were thinking it's going to take 3 months. Then on the second month, she was able to do 150 appointments. So the maximum that we put a limit of, we're thinking that, hey, this is going to be 100 appointments, and we'll be thrilled for 100. We actually got 150, and it's been steady. It's been around 120 to 150 we've seen with Yell going on 4.5, 5 years now, which is tremendous. So let's take a look and break down some of the things that happened there. One, we allowed her the flexibility, the creativity to do it her own way. And that is huge, right? The autonomy. When you have a good person, when you have A player or a B plus player, giving them the ability to do it their way is crucial. You don't want to step on or stifle their genius, right? That's one. Two, we provided a clear goal. What does success look like for this project? It wasn't like, hey, just try this out. Let's see how it goes. No, we gave her a ceiling to work towards right away. She had a 1 month goal, a 2 month goal, and a 3 month goal. And she showed who she was. She showed that she was excellent and she crushed that 1 month goal. She crushed her 3 month goal in just 1 month. And she made us actually reset what we thought was possible for that position. And that's what an A player is going to do. And this is, we got lucky with Yell, and which is awesome. But those two things, autonomy and also setting that clear success. And the third thing is provide with the resources, provide with a clear path on how to accomplish that goal. But again, you don't want to be too rigid where they have to do it exactly the way you want them to do it. Give them what success looks like, give them what you've done to have success, but allow them the flexibility to try it and make it their own. Because that's how you truly get someone to invest in that goal and that outcome, is allowing them to make it their own. So hopefully this helps, guys. Love doing these videos for you, and see you on the next one.